Well, the one thing that's been interesting with the equity profile that Inclusive Dubuque has been doing since February is we've talked about everything from economic well-being to housing, transportation, and now we're in the month of finishing the month of arts and culture. And it really seems that accessibility, affordability, just being aware of resources that are available, and the communication of that to the community has really been many of the things that's come up. Because even before we got into the conversation, we that's the culture side.
Yeah.
We're talking about arts and culture, but we really wanted to hear about where people came from, because a lot of people had their names traced back. Every single dialogue that we had was an experience from someone, whether it was they had a great response from the community because they were associated with a certain employer, or they were connected to, they had a network in place and they were able to get connected to the community. But on the other side of that, if somebody was newer, didn't know anyone, or even if they had grown up in this community and maybe just didn't have quite the network, because that was something that came up with, that sometimes Dubuque can feel a little closed off if you don't know the right people or connections to get in place. And it's just, that's a matter of fact, I guess, probably across any community, is if you have your friends, you have your family, and you don't really need to branch out from there, but how can we take it to the next level and, not only make it welcoming, but also inclusive, and for the real hard issues that are out there, making sure that we're equitable as well.
We've got to work really hard to make sure that everyone, regardless of education, age, income, sees themselves in our arts organizations, and I think that's an activity that has to be ongoing and be part of our DNA as an organization.
The community at large, is very broad. We have 60,000 people in Dubuque, and so, we're really intentional about trying to hold dialogues in places that if people didn't have transportation, they could potentially walk to, or different conversations. One group we worked with in particular was Circles, that works through Project Hope in the city of Dubuque, and that's held at Prescott Elementary School. So people are meeting there already. They invited us to come in and speak, so we did dialogues with them. So that was a completely different demographic than maybe a group that works out at the YMCA, YWCA on the West End, and are coming to that dialogue over their lunch break. So we had a really broad range, and then the demographics, I'm really excited to see as we keep finalizing this information, to see how many different ways we can break it down, so we can find out, if they're somebody who fits my demographic, so somebody between the ages of 25 and 35, white, how that group feels about certain things, and then how maybe somebody who's Hispanic and male and 45 feels about it. So we have so many different ways we can break down the information. And again, that's just a start. We've had over 1,600 people participate, which is a really good number, but it's by no means the end of trying to engage people.